And Kyle Walker almost headed it off the line, actually, but in the end, Wolves got the job done.
If you saw that one going, congratulations. As we welcome back Don to the show. Craig, I know this was one of the games that you were focusing on of those 3 o'clock kickoffs in England. What went wrong?
I think it was a continuation of the second half at Newcastle with different personnel. It was really sloppy in the middle of the park. They were susceptible to the counter again a lot, particularly on the right with Neto, who was excellent. And, you know, Doku never get much change out of the fullbacks, and Wolves defended deep. Look, the story of the game is no surprise. Lots of Man City possession, a few pot shots at goal. Keeper had to make some saves, but not that many from close range. And I actually thought City were poor. And they struggled with Ake at left back. Neto had his measure all the time on the counter-attack. And Erling Haaland, I can hardly remember getting a kick.
Right.
I just don't remember him being involved in the game much at all. And again, that might be down to the service. And I don't know what Guardiola said after the game or not. I haven't seen any quotes. But he might, because after the Newcastle game, he said it was great. Absolutely great. Played great. Well, they didn't. Played great in the first half, never scored. Were horrible in the second half when Newcastle put them under pressure. Don was up at the game when Newcastle harried and hustled them. And Wolves were patient today. Don't forget, you know, Wolves are searching to get their season going. And I thought Newcastle, Man City just looked off the pace. Everything was a little slow, a little ponderous. There was no Rodri. The supply up to Haaland wasn't good. And they looked really vulnerable again on the counter-attack. And I don't think they've got any complaints, none whatsoever.
Is this a sign of things to come, Don?
It is if teams are brave enough to go and attack them, Dan, because without sounding like Captain Obvious, I think the way to beat Man City is go after them. I think we've seen many a team over the years try to be defensive, try to stay in games, staying at 0-0s, and maybe trying to hit them on, you know, with a set play, a wide free kick or a wide corner and try and nick something late on. I think this City team now, I think without Bernardo Silva, without Rodri, without Kevin De Bruyne, they don't seem to wallop teams 6s and 7s anymore. But that's no bad thing because they've just come off the back of a treble and they're still the team to beat. However, if you're brave enough, like Wolves were today with Neto, who was really, really good, him and Cunha, and Newcastle midweek, there's a way to beat them, and that's getting at them. And I think maybe 1 or 2 managers in the Premier League have cottoned on to the Wolves game today, the Eddie Howe performance in the second half over St James's Park, and think, well, that's the way to go at City. Have a real good go at them. They're not invincible.
Kovacic was poor.
Those Rodri stats are quite something, aren't they? I suppose when you take a look at the win ratio when he's there and when he's not.
Well, particularly when you saw that the incident for the first goal where Kovacic plays he doesn't know Foden's there and he clatters it off him. And then Foden gets out-muscled and then Ake dives in and gets out-paced. That's where Rodri, not just with the ball and everything else that he does, but that's where, and Fernandinho used to do it brilliantly, that's where he gets across and covers and makes a tackle and breaks it down. Kovacic struggled. Mateus Nunes, who got the bird all game from the Wolves crowd, every time he touched it, of course, because I think he went on strike to try and get his move. So he got hammered, he got taken off at half-time. Calvin Phillips came on. That's how kind of desperate they've been in that area because we know his lack of game time. And of course we had the Man City manager moaning up at Newcastle because there wasn't a flight back. It had to get a bus journey back and then a bus journey to Wolves, and it's all been very negative. And I tell you what, I think performing like that without the players that Don mentioned will give the others a little bit more hope that if the big boys are not in there, then Erling Haaland might be suffocated a little bit more than he would like.
I'm not sure you go at them, though, to be honest. I mean, I think when you get the ball and you're brave and courageous and go at them when you get it, but I don't think you open up and you try and go toe-to-toe with City. As much as they're not in the same vein of form as they've been, I don't think you go after them.
But Wolves never tried, but they've got... When City's passing was poor, they exploited that left-back position in particular, but Cunha's quick, Wang's quick, Neto's quick, and so when you've got 3 guys, at least 3 guys that can take the ball for a run and get in behind, you can at least squeeze the rest of the team up a little bit and take a bit of pressure off. And that's what Gary O'Neill's side did.